Well, tonight, the Isle of Wight County Sheriff admits he had a meltdown.
It happened yesterday following a year and a half of scrutiny on issues facing the sheriff's office. 10 Your Side's Andy Fox has been following this story for us all day.
Yeah, word came to us that he had actually resigned. That's what it was in the beginning. He has not resigned. But the totality of all he's faced became too much for Sheriff Charles Phelps as he faces the toughest election in his 24-year career as sheriff.
I just plain got irritated and said, I've had enough of this.
Sheriff Charles Phelps then put down his badge and gun and went home after 18 months of trouble. March 2010, his deputy Ronald Carwile busted for taking indecent liberties with a minor.
I had Burns for 10 years. During those 10 years, that young man never created a problem.
Jonathan Burns acting like a deputy, but he's a convicted felon and not allowed to be a deputy.
He was a volunteer. He was not a deputy. Everybody wants to label him as a deputy. He was not a deputy. He was strictly a volunteer here.
Commonwealth's attorney Wayne Farmer called for a state police investigation.
I think it's a witch hunt. I do, especially since he got up and endorsed my opponent.
The sheriff's son, Captain Paul Phelps, indicted for conspiracy to commit a felony by allowing Burns to have a taser.
Charged with a felony of giving him a taser. Did he do that?
No. He says he did not do that. That's what he told me.
Monday, Deputy Matthew Lyons resigned after state police investigated him on allegations of child pornography. Then Thursday, when this April memo reminding personnel you will not go to the Commonwealth's attorney's office with any matter unless it has been approved by me or administrative staff became public in a local newspaper, well, Phelps had had enough.
It all came together at one time.
And would you acknowledge that it was basically a meltdown on the part of Sheriff Phelps?
Yeah, it was a meltdown.
Phelps is now facing a re-election campaign against popular Smithfield Police Chief Mark Marshall, who is watching this all unfold.
This ongoing investigation, the nepotism that is allowed to exist in the agency, I knew it's a time for a change.
It's tough when your 8-year-old granddaughter stays over and you hear her in there praying for you. Yes, it's tough. When she says, God, please help Paw and Uncle Paul. Yes, it's tough.
Tough. Hampton Police Lieutenant Jim Krotz is also running for the race for sheriff. There is an old political adage that if you are explaining, then you are losing. Sheriff Phelps has had to do a lot of explaining, even by his own admission. If he wins this race, he gets the last laugh. But if he loses, it's clear he could not withstand all the explaining. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.